The Rocketeer is certainly a video game I have ever played. This is a game licensed off a movie, licensed off a comic book, and I'm honestly surprised I've never heard of this movie before, as it's a Disney movie. I'm not even sure it's on Disney+. It's never been recommended to me. Anyway, I thought I'd seen every early 90s Disney movie, but I guess not. This game was clearly only made to cash in on the movie. When you read the manual, it makes it painfully obvious, as the manual walks through the game stage by stage. My assumption is that each of the levels in this game are based off of scenes from the movie, as this game is at least 3 thrown together Flash games from what I've seen at this point. The first 2 stages of the Rocketeer are airplane races in, the loosest sense of the word. I'm pretty sure you can win the first stage just by launching correctly, but the second appears to require you to press the left button a bit to keep your turns around the pylons tight. You have to use the tiny window at the bottom of the screen to actually see where you are horizontally, as I guess they couldn't be bothered to make the top screen look any different than it does. The 2 individual races are identical, by the way, except the second one is 15 laps instead of 10. The third stage is a gallery shooter, where you shoot an inordinate number of pixelated blobs that resemble people from some evil army, moving the crosshairs with the arrow buttons, mashing A to shoot, and sometimes turning on your jetpack to grab either a 1-up or health, which you will absolutely need to do, because as you transition from left to right, there will sometimes be way too many enemies for you to actually shoot in the amount of time you have before they are guaranteed to hit you. If you die during this stage, you have to start the stage all the way over. So make sure you're honing your skills to be a top 5% gamer on a 30-year-old game about a movie no one has ever heard of. I'll also mention here that very often the crosshairs will look like they should be shooting an enemy, but they just aren't. To be honest, this game doesn't deserve the time for me to take to ensure that it's in the footage I am showing you, so I will just hope it's there. The 4th stage is another race on the exact same track, but this time you're a jetpack man, the eponymous Rocketeer. I think you could actually win this race without pressing the left button, but I lost it the first time due to a bad launch and ended up too scared the second time to do anything but actually press the left button sometimes to ensure I could actually see the 5th stage in the hour that I had to play the game. Turns out I had seen the 5th stage before, because the 5th stage is practically identical to the 3rd, except now sometimes grenades are thrown at you, and after you grind through the obnoxiously long gallery section this time, there's a boss that is a button mashing test. You have to shoot a specific area that does enough damage enough times before you die from the unavoidable attacks the boss hits you with. And if you don't target and mash fast enough, stage over, start the gallery shooting all the way over again. The 6th stage is a horizontal shooter stage that has less game design in it than a horizontal shooter game dev tutorial I did 4 years ago. The obstacles seem to just spawn out of a generator on a time frame with no rhyme or reason to it at all. The absolute worst thing about this part of the game, besides what it looks like, is that when you're hit, you literally cannot do anything. You cannot shoot your weapons when you are hit, you can't move, so most of the deaths that I got in this stage were due to me getting stun-locked to death. Also, as you're stun-locked, you are pushed up. No matter what angle you are actually hit from, which, I don't know, it's just like a needless bit of programming. They could have game designed the enemy flow of this stage, or spent some time making other stages a little bit more engaging. But no, just programming stun-locking and weird physics into this stage for whatever reason. I should mention this is from what I can tell the first point that you can even maybe game over, as the gallery shooter levels give out 1-ups like candy. When I game overed here, I noticed my recording had hit an hour and breathed a sigh of relief. Keep in mind, getting to that worse than a Flash game shooter section took me around 50 minutes. So if I wanted to try to see what was past that, I'd have to do all of that again, as there don't appear to be any passwords or stage selects here. That just isn't worth my time, and this game is definitely not worth yours. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and if you like the idea of watching me play every Super Nintendo game in US release order for an hour and reviewing it, please subscribe to my channel, as that's exactly what I do here. I've got a whole playlist of everything I've done so far if you're interested. Next time we'll be talking about Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2, if I can ever figure out how to play that game. I've technically already spent my entire hour that I allot for games reading the manual and game facts, trying to figure out how to play the game. But I guess I'm gonna make an exception for it, as I don't know how to play it without digging into it, since it's an incredibly complicated game. Anyways, have a good day.